Hello, and welcome back to Proving the Concept, the podcast where we explore the weird, wonderful, and sometimes downright bizarre world of science and technology. I'm Sarah Goffin, your host for today's Curious Journey. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been at the forefront of our lives in recent years: viruses. From their ancient origins to their roles as microscopic troublemakers, viruses are as fascinating as they are mysterious. Oh, and stick around till the end, because we'll highlight an incredible female scientist who's helped us understand these tiny, powerful entities in groundbreaking ways. So are you ready to go viral? Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a virus? Viruses are like the ultimate minimalists of the biological world. They're microscopic infectious agents, so small that most of them are invisible even under a standard microscope. Unlike bacteria or fungi, viruses aren't considered living organisms because they can't survive or reproduce on their own. Instead, they hijack the machinery of a host cell, be it human, animal, plant, or even a bacterium, to replicate the spread. Their structure is surprisingly simple. A virus typically consists of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protective protein coat called a capsid. Some viruses have an additional outer layer called an envelope, often stolen from the host cell during replication. But here's the twist: not all viruses are bad. In fact, many viruses don't harm us at all, and some even play helpful roles in ecosystems. For instance, viruses called bacteriophages, literally bacteria eaters, help control bacterial populations in nature. Viruses have been around for billions of years, predating humans by a long shot. The first known viral epidemic in humans may have occurred in ancient Mesopotamia around 3000 BCE, with evidence suggesting a polio-like disease. The discovery of viruses, however, is surprisingly recent. In the late 19th century, scientists were baffled by a disease that attacked tobacco plants. A Dutch microbiologist named Martinus Biegenik conducted experiments showing that disease-causing agents were smaller than bacteria and could only reproduce inside a living host. He called it a contagium vivium fluidum, or contagious living fluid, and thus virology was born. Fast forward to the 20th century, and some of the most infamous viruses come to the forefront: smallpox, polio, and influenza, to name but a few. Vaccines revolutionized our ability to fight these pathogens, with pioneers like Edward Jenner and Jonas Salk leading the charge. Today, we've taken virology to the next level. With tools like electron microscopes and genetic sequencing, scientists can study viruses in incredible detail. The development of mRNA technology, as seen in COVID-19 vaccines, represents a cutting-edge leap in combating viral diseases. Now let's get to the fun part: some weird and wonderful facts about viruses that you might not know. First up, did you know there's a virus with a poetic name? The mimivirus, discovered in 2003, is so large it was initially mistaken for a bacterium. It's one of the largest viruses known and even has its own viral parasites called virophages. Yes, a virus that infects another virus. Next, viruses aren't just earthbound. Scientists have speculated about the possibility of viruses existing in space. While we haven't found any extraterrestrial viruses yet, researchers believe that studying viruses on Earth could help us understand what to look for in alien life forms. And here's a fun one for fans of ancient history. Scientists have successfully resurrected a 30,000-year-old virus called pithevirus from permafrost in Siberia. Don't worry, it only affects amoebas, not humans. But it does raise questions about what else might be lurking in the ice as it melts. Finally, viruses can be pretty artsy. Under an electron microscope, some viruses look like tiny symmetrical sculptures. The adenovirus, for example, resembles a 20-sided dice, while others look like futuristic spacecraft. Now, as promised, let's highlight a trailblazing scientist in the field of virology, Dr. June Almeida. Born in 1930 in Glasgow, Scotland, June Almeida left school at the age of 16 due to financial difficulties. She started her career as a lab technician, but quickly proved to be a scientific powerhouse. In the 1960s, while working at St Thomas's Hospital in London, Almeida developed groundbreaking techniques in electron microscopy, allowing scientists to see viruses in unprecedented detail. Using her methods, she was the first to identify and photograph what we now know as coronaviruses, the very family of viruses responsible for the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Almeida's work was initially dismissed by some in the scientific community, but her contributions eventually gained the recognition they deserved. She laid the foundation for modern virology, proving that even in the face of adversity, persistence and curiosity can lead to incredible discoveries. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Proving the Concept. We've journeyed through the fascinating world of viruses, from their ancient origins to their surprising beauty under a microscope. We've explored their roles in ecosystems, their history, and the scientific breakthroughs that have helped us understand them. And of course, we celebrated Dr. June Almeida, a brilliant mind whose work continues to shape how we study and combat viruses today. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. I'll be back next week with another dive into the weird and wonderful. Until then, stay curious.